Cool. Instaglass. So, hello everyone. My name is Chris Hughes, and I'm here in your lovely country, and have been for the last 5 weeks, kind of hacking on glass. What's really interesting, I named the talk Instaglass because I'm the first guy ever to post a video from Google Glass on Instagram. And I'm going to show you guys how I did the hack today, and what that means. I really should have chosen a better hashtag. I realize this now, because you know, and how many people here are Instagram users? A good amount of you. Okay, I like that. That's good. You know, I don't know if you guys have seen the Instagram kind of hashtagging phenomenon, but you know, if you're drinking, it's Insta beer or Insta brew or Insta cocktails. If you're cooking, it's Insta cooking. It's Insta food. It's Insta blah. And so I just was like naturally like, oh, I'll just do it. I'll just call it Instaglass, right? And when you search for Instaglass, this is awesome. You do it, and we'll go Instaglass. There's 14,000 photos. This is Statagram. I don't know if you guys have seen Statagram, and it's mostly marijuana. Now, now that wasn't on purpose, and don't let this long hair here fool you. But and I'm from California, where it's A-okay. But I didn't expect that, though it just makes it cool. Anyway, so here we are. So lots of pictures of bong and weeds. Hashtag sorry, Sweden. But anyway, I'm gonna talk to you guys about the process of hacking Instagram, Google Glass, and an iPhone to really do something all together and make it slick. Like I said, I'm Chris Hughes. You can find me on Twitter as Chews, C-H-E-W-S. I highly suggest you take out your phones and follow me now. On the Instagram, I am other Chews, because for whatever reason I was a little late to that party, and I'm the other one. So I also blog. I know, which sucks. And the guy hasn't updated in like a year, and that really, I've got all kinds of butthurt about that. But anyway, I blog on the web. You can find me at spazzout.com. And I apologize if this talk sucks, but you know, at least I get that out of the way early, and you guys are like, well, that lowered my expectations, so I just lower them in the beginning, and it's all up here from, that's all uphill from here. So let's start with the most important kind of rule, I think, to computer science, which is to reverse engineer everything. Now, I'd like to get an idea of how technical the crowd is. So, are you guys app developers? Like, how many people here are app developers? Like, build things, software engineers. Okay, everyone here is software engineers. This is good. Well, a good amount of you guys are software engineers. That's a good sign. How many people are app or mobile developers? Mobile developers. Just get a sense of that. About a third of the room, half the room. Okay. Now, I'm kind of internet famous for being a reverse engineer. That's what I do. I like to take things apart and see how they work, and then make them more. Well, I don't know. Just do other things with them. Do things they weren't intended to do. Or at least just kind of figure out how it works. So for me, I just, yeah, I'll take anything apart. I really will, if I possibly can. So let's talk really briefly about one of the first kind of steps, which is kind of universal to every connected device, and a really clever like first intrusion step. Like the first step to doing cool shit is to do network-based attacks. Now, network attacking is awesome. Reason being, you can get in the middle of the traffic, or somehow at least see how the traffic works, and then do interesting things with it. You know, you can. What's really nice if you turn off the cellular antenna to your iPhone and just do it on Wi-Fi. You man in the middle here. You can feed like a false version of the internet to your device and then do interesting things with that. And so one of the things that I'm going to highly advocate that all of you guys do, at least in the software space, is understand that someone like me is going to play with your stuff. And I highly recommend that you do as much as you can to be aware of it. I'm not saying necessarily stop me, because I love a challenge. So try and stop me. But the point is to really get in the middle of traffic. And one of the things that I used to do, sorry about that, one of the things that I used to do a lot of is man in the middle iPhone traffic. Now, man in the middle iPhone traffic is really interesting, because the way I would do it is I just create an access point on my computer. Just a simple plug it into the Ethernet, make my iPhone an access point, have my computer, my iPhone, join that access point, and then just packet sniff all the traffic. Now this is really cool because I can just go ahead and launch an app and then see how it works. Now, some of you, I recognize some faces here, and I showed a little bit of this off earlier this week, but I'm going to spend like 5 minutes showing kind of a really interesting way of just looking and inspecting traffic that occurs on an iPhone. Now, one of the interesting things about this is that you can see interesting stuff about how app developers think. And as an engineer, I like to look at, how does Instagram handle JSON, or how does Twitter do this stuff? It's really cool to see oh, you can read about it on their blogs, but you can also see it on your own device if you just want to take yourself 5 minutes to see. So the first trick to do, let's go back here. Let's close this up here, terminal. Guys, how many folks here are terminal users on a Mac? Okay, sweet. Anyone here a ZSH user? The ZSH shell? Oh, one guy.
Oh my zeesh.
Oh my zeesh. Exactly. Totally. This dude. Yes, this dude. I could not agree more. I'm an Oh my ZSH user as well. One of the things that I really love about it is this one shell script. You run it and it just makes your shell better, infinitely better. Your GitHub integration, tab completion, directory traversal, all kinds of great stuff. Just gives you so much more productivity in the command line. But anyway, so one of the things here, let me just check this out here. If config. Okay, all right. So the first thing to do. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do here is, back in the old days, I used to have to, like I said, set up an access point, and in that access point kind of man in the middle of traffic. But Apple has since made this a little bit easier for people who are doing network programming on the iPhone. So who here is profiled, for those of you who are app developers, have you profiled your app using RVI util? Has anyone here done this? No, this is really sweet. And I'm going to show you something really cool that you can do, at least on the iPhone. And there are, if you want to do this on Android, you just do what I said earlier, which is you create an access point and do it that way. But this is really...
Chris, just
yes.
a small detail. Can
Okay,
you make
make it bigger. Boom, boom, boom.
Bigger.
Here we go.
Everybody
Good
can
trend.
see it, and it would be easier.
Even larger. Just keep going. No. Alright, let's do it. Alright, so there you go. Here, and we go. Alright, sweet. So, RVI CTL is a utility that what you do is you get the UDID of your Apple device, in this case the UDID of this one, and you start this service, which in effect goes ahead and creates a new network adapter on your Mac, which is your iPhone, in all of its communication as it goes through. Now here's the really cool part, and most of you guys don't know this. The iPhone protocol that plugs in via USB is a network protocol. When you sync a new app via iTunes, it's really just opening a TCP socket and then pushing that data across the bus. There's no USB communication at all, and it's been that way from the very beginning. From the very beginning. So the original jailbreak that I did on the iPhone, I was just doing network replay attacks. Most people don't even realize that, but yeah, I was just fucking man in the middle of it. So, and the original iPhone, everything ran as root. So there was no privilege escalation. It wasn't even that fucking hard. It was a fairly open cookie jar. You just had to get in the middle of it. So anyway, this is kind of adjacent to that sort of behavior. And then what I'm going to do is, let's see here, make sure I don't have any apps open. Let's go history, because I'm not so good with memory. Grab TCP. Here we are. Copy pasta this. And what I'm doing right now is it adds what I'm doing is TCP dump. I don't know if you guys have ever done TCP dump, but if you're just looking at traffic, it's a pretty easy way to do it. So I'm just TCP dumping the traffic of the new network interface that was created with that earlier command. So, and I'm doing it to the screen, all TCP stuff with ASCII. So that's what explains everything that's going on there. Boom, enter the password. And now it's captured. So now I'm going to go and open Twitter. Feed here. And that here. wow, boom, boom, the internet. It's the Matrix and I'm inside it. But yeah, I mean, literally, I'm in the Matrix right now. So you can see all of the socketed connections that are going on with any app, including your apps, the ones you build and design. Now, the nice guys at Twitter are really good. All that stuff is SSL. If you guys are seeing 443 and just gobbledygook. But the point is that you can see, but searches occur in plain text. And so you can do some interesting things like with Twitter, if you're reverse engineering, or with Instagram. And that was kind of the first little key to my little hack, was to, how does Instagram upload a video? Let's figure that shit out. And then, like, can I replay it to Instagram? Shit, yeah, you can. I don't. You can write a command line utility that does it. You don't even need to use it on the device. So, so the first little bit of advice that I can give you guys as developers is to kind of play around with the network and see what you can do. This is a great example of the stuff that is doable. All right, back to the demo. So network attacks, that covers that. Boom. Rule 42, subsection A. If you can't open it, you don't own it. So I'm a really big advocate of just, yeah, anything I buy is mine to do whatever I like. So I don't believe in warranties. I don't believe in, like, it's mine, I should just be able to do whatever I want. That's why I'm not terribly afraid of rooting or jailbreaking or any of that stuff. And the truth of the matter is that the guys who are building these tools, you know, they don't want you to brick your device either. So more than likely, it's not going to happen, actually. And it's really hard to completely damage something to the point, with just software, to the point that you can't fix it. So it's just a matter of like, oh, that's really crappy. I rooted my Android device here. Michael can certainly attest to this. I was bitter for 2 fucking days. He can attest to it because I was really angry. Because it was just one of those things, a locked bootloader and a failed backup, and those two. I was just being fast, and I didn't verify a backup, and then I didn't get my data back, which is awful. But anyway, you know, that's what happens when you fly high. Backup, but other than that, you know, just do interesting shit. So I have a pair of Google glasses, and it is really interesting when you root these things, like what you can do with it. You know, a Google Glass in and of itself just runs a stripped down version of Android, a slightly stripped down version of Android. For the most part, it is just an Android device, and it is susceptible, interestingly enough, to the same attacks that existing Android rooted devices are. So, for those of you who are interested in taking advantage of, or more advantage of your Android device, I'm going to give you guys a secret link. I think it's the first, I don't know, not a lot of people are talking about it. But it's the work of a colleague of mine in the jailbreak industry. For those of you who've ever done it on iPhone, you know the Cydia application store, the alternate place where you would get apps for iOS. Sarek, who's a good friend of mine, also a Glass Explorer, and also kind of new to the Android kind of hacking game. We've been doing, he's got a really amazing utility called the Cydia Impactor. Cydia Impactor, this is amazing. This is the one-click jailbreak for Android devices. And like the only one that it doesn't work for is like the Motorola Atrix 4D, the Huawei Ascend, and the HTC One. The rest of them, fucking ownable. And the nice thing about it is that it does it without even unlocking the bootloader. So there's a system level, you know, kind of privilege escalation that is occurable. You can do it in your device. It does it like, yeah, works like magic. And so this is what I should have used to root my phone. I went the old school way and got a old-fashioned cockroach. But on the Google Glass, on the other hand, it just was like butter. And I was able to, I'll do this here real quick. Plug in my glass and switch over to the terminal, because this is where the fun part is. Plug my iPhone, switch over to here. Because this is kind of all the parts that are necessary in order to do kind of the really interesting things with glass. So, go back here, go to... Oh yeah, see, like, this is me just kind of being able to tab complete through this. This is one of the niceties of ZSH. So, yeah, system manager, platform tools. Okay. E shell. So, this is the shell of the Google Glass right now. So I'm connected to the Google Glass shell. Now, generally, if I borrowed your Google Glass, I could plug it in, and I could try doing this command, su, and I would not be able to become root, which is the important. That's all you need in order to be able to do interesting things. Now, I have the super user command on my device. You don't have the super user command on yours. We could put it on there, but I don't know. You may not want to. I don't know. You may. It's a thing for you to do at home if you'd like to. But nevertheless, this is what opens up the full capability of the device. Now I can get access to anything on the file system, traverse the application stack, be able to massage the stuff as I need to, do damn near anything I want, including one of the really exciting things that we can do in iPhone that we're just now starting to explore on Android, which is this concept called mobile substrate. Mobile substrate is, for those of you who are familiar with how iPhone deals with stuff underneath the layer, it's a message-based language. One of the interesting things about iOS is that it's and one of the really cool parts is that touch, like for example, because it's this microkernel design that uses messages for passing everything, touch and visual input are really nicely tied to each other because they're adjacent to each other in a message stack. Android didn't get that until like 4.2. And so what that means is it was impossible for you to create a touch gesture in Android that would create visual response lag. It was impossible to do it. It's just you can't do it. Like they were next to each other. They were in sync. They processed the messages like one right after the other. The next frame buffer would occur. The next touch would read. The next frame, the next touch. That's just the beauty of the microkernel design. Android didn't get something that interleaved those messages until the newest version of the operating system. So out of that capability arose this interesting ability to kind of pass messages now to this Android stack. And so what my buddy Jay has done is this thing called mobile substrate, which allows you to hook into any active app and modify its runtime code in real time. This is amazing. Like, this is unbelievable. Like, this is where the shit gets real. Like, because we can take, oh, that app does something I don't want it to do. I'll make it better. Like, so for example, on the Instagram app, I'm gonna add a third camera, my Google Glass, and it will rip the photos directly from the glass that's on my face, provide them right to the camera as if it's a third one. And I don't have any of Instagram's code. I don't give a shit. I can still put my shit in there. That's amazing, guys. So, yeah, like with respect to hacking, it's going to open up a whole new world of awesome. And if you guys are Android developers or at all interested in it, look at Mobile Substrate for Android because it is fucking amazing. So, yeah. All right. So here I am on the Android. If I go to the directory here.
How illegal is that?
Well.
Is it something that people talk about?
So is it something that people talk about? Well, here's the thing. Google's kind of really.
Because on radio, if you use a channel in radio, that's illegal here at least.
Yeah. So we're not doing that noise. We're not doing that noise. It's still occurring over the standard Bluetooth stack. We're not cheating at all in this case. We're just now with respect to modifying someone else's binaries. Your mileage may vary. I wouldn't try and build a business on top of it, but or maybe I would. But shit, yeah, I would. But yeah, it's just one of those things that you should probably be aware of. It's but we're gonna there will exist a Cydia for Android, an alternative app store that allows people to kind of sell and make these things. So I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised that you could actually build interesting things. So, I don't know, your mileage will vary. Cyanogen Mod's a good example of an alternative business that was created from rooting devices. So, I don't know, you can do it unofficially and start legit. So I'm going to switch to the SD card folder, which is where the videos are stored. So I can go to Picture, TC. And so here are all the photos that I've taken and recorded on my glass. And so what I'll do here is like I will just, we'll actually just disconnect here and disconnect one more time. This in place. And I'm gonna record a quick video because what we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna record like about roughly a 6-second video. Well, I can do a full 10, and then I'm gonna crop it to the appropriate dimensions, and then I'm gonna upload it to my Instagram account from you guys. So I'm gonna show you guys how that hack works here. So type this in here. Go OK Glass. Now, what we'll do is just like let's see, how do I make this funny? Because I can totally, because I like poking big people. So I like razzing. So just at the count of 3, you guys just go yay, and then I'll just post it online. Okay. So, OK Glass, record a video. Record a video. Awesome. So now that we've recorded the video, let's post it to Instagram. That's what makes it real fun. So let's do this. So I'm gonna rip this off here. Go back here. Grep. ADB. There we go. It's a little faster. So while this is, let's see here. 8:19. Oh, did it get today's video? I think it might have. Let's double check. You know what? And keep running it. Alright. That's just going to download a bunch of it, and then it'll get to it in a second, and I'll just go switch back to the top. So, let's see. Avoid warranties. And as you guys could see, that was avoided warranty on screen. Let's go back to the iPhone hacking part. So what I'll do now is I opted, it's interesting, so when I first did this attack on the device, I did not, I need to stop that service with the network adapter here so I can actually SSH into it. So the next little bit is actually compromising Instagram on iOS, because that's actually the transport mechanism that I use to do this. So the trick is actually an interesting one. This whole hack is entirely based on a replay attack. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to record a bullshit video here on Instagram, putting my phone into airplane mode. So this is where you kind of like, this is where the fun occurs. So you start here, I'm going to just take this, and I'm literally going to just go and I'm going to record a bullshit video. A second. Come on. iPhone 4. I lost my iPhone 5 the first day I got here. Bit sad. But anyway, so I'm just going to record this like fun video because that looks cool. I'll just record this. Now I'm filling the full camera buffer, so I'm just doing that. Filling this up here. Recording an appropriate, about a 10-second video, which will be good. Pick that, I'll go to next. And then I will choose a filter, which I'm not even going to worry about. Next. And then I'm going to pick a frame, just like you would do with any Instagram video. Doesn't matter, looks cool because it's green and matrixy. And then, yeah, and then I'll show you guys how Instagram handles failures. And this is like where this is where they drop the ball. So now now that I've kind of got it queued up and ready, and I'm gonna make my post like, oh, this is like, this is a live hack from Lab 55. Unless you would like some other promotional tweet, like, let's throw that out there. This is live. Lab 55. And, by the way, Vine is just as susceptible to the same sort of hack as well. So just so you know, it's just as easy to hack the other as it is to hack this. So I could crop it down to 5 seconds and then put this onto Instagram. Interestingly enough, here's a real funny story. This is not my iPhone. This is actually an internet celebrity's iPhone. This is kind of a weird thing. There's a guy named Dancing Matt who's been around the world doing this funny little YouTube dancing video. Well, I know Dancing Matt because I was his camera guy in South America. And this is actually his iPhone. And I'll show you pictures of his adorable child here in a moment. And what ended up happening was he dropped this phone in like a toilet somewhere, and he lost the photos of the birth of his child, which is just terrible. And so he FedExed me the phone like over Christmas and was like, "Hey, bro, is there any way that you could possibly fix this?" "Sure, buddy. Yeah, I got a soldering station. I can totally do that." So I took the memory out of his iPhone and then put it into mine, like unsoldered SMD mount. Like it was a real ugly mess. But the problem is, and this is a great like alternately awful security problem, is that Twitter uses the hardware address for authentication in their cloud. So when I posted the first video to Twitter, I posted it to his Twitter account, even though I'm the one that's logged in. And then he goes, "Bro, are you hacking my Twitter account?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm so badass, I accidentally hacked things." Oh, no, I can't believe that Twitter's authentication is that bad, that it would allow some sort of traversal of hardware like that. It just doesn't make any sense at all. But this is a glaringly awful security bug, which I could easily post somewhere and just go like, "This is how to completely pwn other people's accounts," by again, just masquerading as someone else's hardware ID. So it's another hack that I discovered completely on accident. It's just bullshit, but an interesting side effect nonetheless. So I'm not going to post this to Twitter because it would go to Matt's Twitter, and that would be like the 5th time I've done this, and he's just annoyed with it now. So, and there's no way to stop it. Even though like I formatted the device, there's nothing I can do about it. Like, it is unstoppable, like, until, I think he has to change his passwords and do a bunch of token like re-auth, but whatever. I've asked him to do it, but he said he has, so, but I can still post to his Twitter. I'm not going to test that, he told me not to. So, alright, now that we've got that there, I'm going to go to the system settings here and put it into airplane mode. So turn that off, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to go post this video, which is the secret. So what I do now is I just go ahead and share it. And then now it's failed. Now the big win is that you exit the app so that it caches all that shit to disk, which is what you want to do. Now with it on disk, I can then in turn fudge with it. So I'm going to make sure the app is really closed. And then I'll log in and show you guys. I'll SSH into the device here.
Why did it fail, by the way?
Because I put it into I turned off the wireless on it. So like I did that on purpose to create the failed state. And then I'll show you an interesting thing, because I started playing around with Instagram on Android. And man, guess what? They don't even process the video on the device. They literally upload the whole thing to the Instagram cloud. The whole thing as a bullshit like turned over video. I'll show you this too later. Like this whole thing, and it's processed in their cloud. So I can even upload my own arbitrary videos and have them apply their fun filters to it, which is fucking bananas now. Another bit of, because they just rushed that shit out the door. Like, the Android client, they didn't even try. Like, they didn't even try. They're like, fine, it records video, it's good. So, it works. Which is the other fun stuff, is like just to see the difference in the quality of software between the teams. Like, that's really astounding. And I don't even have access to the source code, but I could tell, like, that one team cared and the other team really didn't. So, but yeah, that's an interesting factoid. I'll go here. So now that I'm going to get here online, I get the IP address for this phone, and then we'll SSH into it. So here we go. Tap new in here, SSH, root, because that's awesome, at 10.20.9.118. Close that. Oh, shit, I need to kill that key. So, nano yeah, no, it's connected. It's connected. It should be online here. It says it is. It says it's online. But let me try this. And again, I'll try a different access point or try a different IP address and then see how that works. Manually assigning one here. Should have worked though. And here, nice. 9, Alright, go back into the other. Plug in directly. You asshole. Ruining my demo. You piece of shit. We'll do it. Stat. You know what? Fuck it. I will do it the old school way. Create a network. And all I could do was create. I'll do it anyway. Screw you. I don't have to build my own network. Go back here. So this is one of those things where, yeah, you just need to. That part's fine. So let's do it for this one thing here. This IP address. This is the lame part of the demo where I'm sitting here trying to get the networking working, which is really lame. So, I will just continue on with the demo and we'll upload the last little bit later. You'll have to trust me that it does work. I'll show you the videos. Because I just can't get this part to work. So, what ends up happening is when you do get a good bit of blast video, you then in turn have to cross-encode it. So this is where handbrake comes into play. You have to actually crop it down and actually make the video the appropriate resolution, which is 640 by 640. So what you do is we'll start with a blast video that comes from the camera. So we'll pick one here. Take the one we got today here. Open it. Picture settings. And you set it to 640 by 640. Do a live preview of it. Make sure that we are correct in that. There we are. Awesome. Size. Great. Live preview of it. Make sure it works. Alright, now that we have that on there, I'm going to actually encode it. So let's do this, let's go ahead and encode it to my desktop and do that now. And now I actually do have an IP address, which I should be able to log into here. So now that it's done, I'll go to SSH root at 69.24.3.100. Oh, guys, I got a little bit ahead of myself. Sorry about that. I realized what's going on here. This is a tethered jailbreak. I completely forgot this part. Fucking hell. It's not running. Here we go. I'll explain this. Not bad. Chris is getting ahead of himself. So, so if I go here to start it, I don't know if you guys have ever, so this is running Android iOS 5. And the reason why it's running 5 is because I can't keep it jailbroken and run 6. So what ended up happening is that you need to actually, what I need to do here is run the jailbreak utility on the device to boot it up. So I'm going to go to Red Snow here, and I'm actually going to everything else, and I'm just going to boot it. So this is what I need to do. So I need to make sure the device is off and plugged in. Do this really quickly here. Turn the device off, it is plugged in. Once it is, I gotta put it into DFU mode. So, okay, now that it's there, click next. Hold down the power button in the corner for 2 seconds. Now, hold down the power and that one for like 9 seconds. Then, and then now let go of that one, and then hold this one for like 14 more seconds. And then it will tell me if everything worked out properly. If not, I don't know, I must have fucked that up. But we'll see here in just a second. No device, I gotta do this again. So we'll do this one more time. Back. So that's one of the fun parts, is in all of this process, if you've got like the iOS 6 devices are actually properly jailbreakable, so you don't have to worry about it. But yeah, that's one of the things that's actually a requirement. So the other things you need to actually have them. If the device was jailbroken at one point, but it's not running the special loader, which will allow unsigned apps to run, effectively SSH is on the device, but it's not running, and it's not allowed to run. So what you need to do is just say, oh, we need to allow that to happen. So I'm just going to turn this off one more time. Actually follow the instructions to the closer to the screen, and then you guys get to, yeah, I got to think through that process and do it on stage, which is actually pretty nice. So even the best of us have our moments of being absent-minded. So here we go. Device is off and plugged into the computer. If it's not off, then do that. All right, then click next. So hold down the power in the corner for 2 seconds. And without releasing power, hold down that at the bottom of the gate. When that's done, let go of it, do that. 14. I got it right this time. And then, boom, exploiting. Now it's running all the exploit code, ponying the shit. And then there'll be a pineapple here on screen. Because it's awesome. And a bunch of like Linux, or like, yeah, see, there's pineapple. Yay! And once pineapple's running, I can actually log in. Hacking, guys, is really fun. A, because it gives you a really strong, intense knowledge of how everything you're using works. And I can only tell you guys that really, we've got so much magic in our pockets, and we as software engineers forget how magical the things we've got in our pockets really are, and how they even work, and like how they are much closer to the computers that we actually do use on a day-to-day basis. One of the things that I'm so surprised by, with respect to my kind of contemporary engineers, is that like there's just a desire to not bother with some of the more technical aspects of it, like, you know, and this is one of the niceties with respect to the productivity that we now get in programming. I mean, like, I like Python and I can do damn near anything with it. Some guys are Rails guys, and you can move mountains with very small amounts of code. And I get that, and that's really nice, but the further and further and further away you get from the stack, the less you understand how the stack even works. And then you're just kind of relegated to this like really shitty understanding. And I can't, like, in good conscience, advocate that. I really can't. So what I suggest for us all is to just like kind of be, yeah, have a little more fun with it. So let's see, I'm gonna make sure that my device is connected, which access point it is, and I should be able to log in now. So I'll do this here. Media evolution, go back up and there. Root at. It's going to take some time, but in a second, it will do the network traversal, going across the wire. Creating SSH key. Hey, I'm not going to do that. This is 10, 20, 9.
So you were up the computer with the mobile, right?
Oh yeah. Oh no, but I'm not online anymore. Here we go. Let me go ahead and just join the access. Well, guys, that was pretty. Like, let me join the access point that would allow me to actually connect to it, because I had set up the network earlier in an attempt to make that work. So we'll do this here. So here we go. Join Media Evolution City. Come on. Join Media Evolution City.
I think you're going to need some juice to your computer.
Gonna need it here soon. That's for sure. Let me find my international adapter. I'm American.
How long did it take the first time you
Did all this? Holy shit, man. Like, are you kidding? All the breaking and entering? I did it over the course, of about 6.5 hours. Like all in, from start to finish. And this was with respect to kind of really getting a sense of where where the files are on the file system, like where all this stuff works. And I should be able to log in. Yeah. Now I'm on my iPhone. Done. Not my iPhone. Matt's iPhone. Anyway, so you can see here. All right. So let's go. So here I am. I'm root. Let me switch to media, or sorry, mobile, because that's really where that's the SU. Okay, because I can't be in root. Tilde. Applications. Now, here's the really funny thing when you look at this. Like, when you look at the directory structure. It is exactly like that on the iPhone. It is exactly like that on your Mac. Like, I mean, this thing is running OS X, just like your Mac does. And you can play all kinds of real fun with it, like a lot of real fun with it. When we compiled GCC for it, like, it was really easy for us to inspect and class dump the original Xcode headers for designing UI, and then reverse engineer and build our first apps for it. So like literally, we didn't have a tool chain at all when we were building an app. We were building apps for iPhone a year before Apple released an SDK. So like, this is what I'm telling you guys. This is the unfair advantage that you guys need to just completely accept and then take in, because that you're competing against guys like me, who have a year's worth of like headway. Like, and if you're not doing it, you're a year behind. I'm reverse engineering the iOS 7 SDK and doing interesting things with that and seeing where Apple's code is going, so that I can prepare my apps even before they're ready. You know, writing things that will come out in the future. I'm telling you guys, like, this is a real thing to take advantage of. So, so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna log off of this, because I can now connect to it, and then go to my history, because it makes it faster. SCP, and let me just reduce this down here so I can actually see what I'm dealing with. The folder that I need to get into is... Here we go. So, go to my desktop. And let's see here. I export that as. And break. It was 2013. So SC3 0.3. Yeah. There. Now I'm just copying the file to the iPhone, just like that. Once that's done, I'm going to go back and log into it. And bar, mobile, which is where the apps are, applications, AFC, there we go. So this is Instagram. So here we go, let's go to library. There's a file that I put in, but let's go to application support really quick here. So let's move this into application support. So, 20 into application support. We'll go into app. And then we can go into Instagram. videos.
Mhm.
So MV. Videos. And now, you see that one, this locked file right here? That is our cached video that we had on the screen. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to delete it, but remember its name, and then drop it into place. So, and then I'm going to upload it. And then we're going to win and have hacked Instagram all together, and you guys watched it. So, I'm going to take this here, and say, say, that one to a backup. So, backup because it's funny. And then MV20. Like that. And then, okay, now I'm going to open up Instagram. And we see that failed video, and I'm just going to go ahead and redo it. Then, go to Instagram. And you're going to see that same original right here. That's my dog. There we go. You see that video? You did not just punch me like that. I swear to Christ. I swear to goodness. No, you didn't. Yes, it did. All right, it did just punch me like that. So we're gonna fix you up real quick. Anyway, the point is, how am I doing on time? How am I doing on time? Anyway, doesn't matter. I'll get this working here. So let's see here. Oh, shite. No. I didn't. What I didn't do is I didn't change the permissions. So I'll redo the demo, but the point is, let me show you what it looks like when you do upload your videos from Glass on here, and there'll be less nervousness because I'm not on stage. But here's the first video ever done, and it's me having changed, this was recorded in a bar, just dancing with a pretty Swedish woman, and yeah, that's the first one that was ever done, and then the second one that has been done is, let's see here, me whipping around this town. This is my bike. But this was actually done with professional video editing, as you can see. Looks awesome as shit. Shot with glass, me whipping around with my glass, and filmed and pushed onto Instagram. So it's very easy. It's actually very doable, and kind of fun to play around with. And I'll do it again with a little more beer and less nerves. But yeah, that's the process for hacking things. It would have been like, we'll get that video online here in a second. And we'll probably post it to does Lat55 have an Instagram? Let's get one and let's post it there, because it'll be fun. So we'll do that. And do you guys have any questions for me? Like that would have been nice to have had a much better crescendo to that, but nevertheless, it's not what it is. Hacking is not always a like when you're doing it on a high wire, it doesn't always work as well as you'd like. But I've experienced this very bug before, and I know how to get around it. So I just need to do a little more permission changing. So yeah, any questions? Ship.
Yeah, yes, a recap. What did you use TCP in the first part of the presentation?
Oh yes. So what I did was to inspect how Instagram actually uploads. So what I could do is just have taken that that token that is inside there, like there's a token that is cached to the file system, and then use that as a ticket to upload to their cloud. So you can do it that way. I mean, there are other ways of getting around it. I could have done it entirely from my computer as well. So it's actually not that hard. And oh, one thing I did want to show you.
The network inspection was just to find the locked file.
Yeah, to find the file names that it was actually uploading and all that stuff, and the endpoint that it was pushing it out to and all that stuff. So it gave me the hints and clues to figure out onto the device where to start like even searching, because you don't know where things get cached, you don't know how things work necessarily. It's just kind of you've got to get some sanity in the world to see what you're up against. So the process of reverse engineering almost for me always is to first take the opportunity to see how the thing communicates with the outside world, see if I can create any unexpected behavior just with network stuff, and then if I can create unexpected behavior, start iterating outside of that, figuring out what I can do on the device to put it in a failed state. These are just kind of common reverse engineering tactics that work. So yeah, I highly suggest you play around with your devices. Man in the middle them. That's the easiest way to hack things. Man in the middle. It's the fastest and easiest way to do shit. Like, it's great, and you can do some heroic work with just that. So yeah, anyone else? Questions? What?
A more philosophical question. Are
Oh.
you concerned about like the future of our community as engineers, that we don't hack as we did? The new
Yes,
generation,
bro.
the new generation
Yes.
doesn't get the little electric box as a child.
Yeah, I on a philosophical level, I am troubled by that. And this is one of the things that, like, I'm trying to at least say, all right, you can do fun things when you do it. And I think the opportunity is to lead by example and show that hacking is actually, like, and doing it in a very open fashion and just saying, hey guys, this is really fun to do. To shine some light on bad behavior as well. I mean, the number of apps that ship your password in plain text is startling. Startling, okay? Like, fucking disturbing as shit. You know, you like put in a filter in Wireshark and then join the network the way I showed it off, and then just start running apps. Put in your password in Wireshark as a filter and see how many apps just go ahead and ship it across the wire in plain text. Son of a bitch, come on people, like, I get it. This is a problem, but one of the biggest plagues in Android engineering right now is the surreptitious sucking down of your address book and then sending it to a cloud to then in turn build a relationship graph. And this is happening all the time. Like, literally, a number of the free apps are doing this. Huge numbers of apps are doing this. And, like, the trouble is, and the side effect and the byproduct of it is a totally, like, bullshit, super restricted, super secure operating system that doesn't allow any flexibility or any fun. And that's because the developers are lazy as shit. And you can fix it at the lower level, or you can fix it at the engineering level. I would like engineers to just take a little more pride in their work. But I agree with you on a philosophical level. That really does trouble me a lot. And one of the things that I would like to see is more hacking, and then kind of creating groups to iterate on it. I mean, we're doing a food hack tomorrow, to do a shameless plug, on glass stuff. So if you guys want to iterate on this, we'll be playing around with it, like doing fun stuff on glass. We'll be passing them around. And if you'd like to donate truth, we could use a second pair. Throwing that out there. We'll get one more.
How secure is the mobile networks? Can you do man in the middle, for example, in 4G?
On the 4G stuff, they're pretty secure. But it was recently cracked, so they won't be secure for much longer. One of the scary things that has come out of DEF CON this year and the Chaos Computer Club just before that is that the EC4 SIM specification has been compromised. So, like, holy shit, guys. Like, the scariest thing ever is about to happen. There's going to probably be a massive rollout of new SIM cards, honestly. Now, certain SIM cards, like AT&T has said none of theirs are affected, Verizon has said none of theirs are affected, but there are large carriers that are affected by this. So what does that mean? Reading your text messages, man, in the middle of your phone call. Scary as shit. With just a strong enough masquerading, like what we can do is we can put on the outside of the building a strong enough wireless antenna that looks like a Telestra or Telia or a 3, and your phone will join it because it'll masquerade it and we can read your text messages. Like, we've seen it done. Like, it's scary as shit. So yeah, terrifying. Terrifying. Yeah. Don't send sexy messages because I can read it. No. All right. Anyone else? Are we good? We good. One more.
From your experience, where in the U.S. do you see the hacker community kind of thriving, or is it just kind of dead all over, or
No.
growing,
Is it growing? I don't know. Like, DEF CON was pretty packed this year. It was a good sized crowd. There's some really clever guys. There's a jailbreak conference going on in New York that's probably got like 400 attendees, which is pretty good, pretty solid. The community is strong. I mean, you have to understand, Cydia lives on over 45 million iPhones. Like, for a long time, Jay Freeman, the creator of the store, was the most popular app developer outside of Apple. Like, period. He was the most popular developer that wasn't Apple. Like, he had more market penetration than any other single app, and that was the case for a long time. It's been installed in over 250 million iPhones. That's unbelievable. Like, that sort of market penetration is amazing. So, yeah, like, I don't know, like, even though the community isn't there, the community is being served by people who have tremendous reach. And so, that is wonderful. So, and the reason is because the stuff we do is interesting. So, or at least interesting enough to be used by other people. So, yeah, it's exciting. Yeah. And it's all open source. Like, we care, like, we like to share. Like, that's cool. So, yeah. My man.
Are carriers irritated, excited, or in the
Incredibly
way of
irritated.
this?
Fucking just all kinds of annoying. But you know, the thing is that it's because they're concerned about network utilization and usage. And in the States, we have an unlimited. We were selling for a long time unlimited packages, but now that things kind of switched to LTE, those are gone. And so, like, they don't care. Now you're paying for the data. They don't give a shit as much as you're using it. So now they used to be really annoyed, but now they're not so much annoyed because the reasons for jailbreaking were to allow, you know, Skype over 3G or to allow Netflix over 3G or to do those sorts of things, which would then in turn create a huge usage hit to, you know, to the overall, to the overall stuff. But yeah, it works. Now that those are gone, they don't care anymore, or they don't care as much. So, in fact, Verizon has a fully if you want to build something. It used to take you like a year to get something certified on a network. Now it's like a matter of 6 weeks. You use a common antenna and it works. There's no problem. Just go right through. So carriers are being much more open about it. They want to sell you data. Awesome. Well, anyone else? Anyone else? Cool beans. So,
Can you do it again?
I can do it. Totally. Absolutely. This time I'll try it. Try it this time for breathing. This time with feeling. So. Let's try it out. This time with feeling. All right. So with less bullshit. Turn it on. Here we go. There's some correct stuff. Record it this one. Here to Instagram. Record. Let's do this again. Proper video, saturation. Yeah, Michael has sat through one of these like full iterations where I've failed in the middle of it and gotten really angry, and then I was like, "Fuck this shit, I hate it," and then it works. There we go. Tap to continue. Hit next. 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 Next to me. This is round 2. Because the first one was a bang fail. Fail. I'll actually show you something else that's really awesome while I upload this again. Lab. In analyzing the Android one, I'll show you some of the differences, which are really kind of cool. Here's the Android one. Let's see.
How can you stand that noise?
I can I hear it a lot. Okay. So one of the really cool things that I did, and let me show you here really quick, and this is kind of one of these like playing around with. On the Android version of it, what you could do is you can run a backup selectively of your app, which is what I did. It takes a long time, and that's why I'm not doing it on mine right now. But you run a selective backup of the app, pulling just the Instagram app down, and then you push it through. It creates a disk image, and that disk image you then in turn like run it through Python. Just run it through zlive to unzip it, and then once you've got that done, you get what I'm showing you right here, which is the dump of their app. And so what you get is this like really interesting. So I was kind of recording some test and demonstration videos, and so you can see one of the things that it does is it records all of the Instagram video. So because they just rushed it through, all of the Instagram video that is occurring in Android, they just record it as if it was a 1280 by 720 video feed, and then they just flip it with a matrix transform, and then they just push that to the cloud. So like all videos are recorded sideways. It's fucking weird bullshit. And then you can see that. It's how they do it, and they don't even bother. Oh, here we go. In Medium, here we go. We'll open this JSON file, and you can see the failed uploads that I have here on mine, and you can see where they put them. You can see the key that you use to associate it, the media that it is in place, the file where it is on my file system, what the height and dimensions are, and then one of the crazy things are you keep going. And those are HTTP. Here you get the URLs to upload your shit to them. This is fucking like sad. Really sad. So and here's the key that you would use to, and then in turn just build a simple shell script to upload it. So you can upload any arbitrary video to Instagram just by creating a failure case and then reading this data really trivially. So if you're interested in doing fun stuff, I know plenty of marketing agencies would love this opportunity. Like, can you imagine oh God, we can do custom video and upload that to Instagram? We'll sell that to our clients tomorrow.
And you also said that didn't they do any checksum?
Oh, they do no checksums on this. That's the other thing. They could have done that. A simple checksum could have fixed this, which is just, that's the sort of lazy ass engineering I'm talking about. It's so troublesome to me. So anyway, go back to my desktop, and then, Let's follow me on Instagram because it's a better demonstration that way. We'll go here, go back to my feed, and we'll refresh it. And this new video here, which has that silly video, but when we put it here, it's all you guys. So yeah. That's all I got. Cool as shit, right as rain, made it work, like a boss. Just like that. On the second time. So can you edit that video to make me look cooler the first time? Alright. But yeah, subjective internet reality is fun. So yeah guys, I'm glad you could be here for this interesting little hack. We'll yeah. That's so cool.
Should we do the voting? See
Yeah, you guys can I really did clean up that red problem, didn't I? Right there at the end. All greens, guys.
Change the filter afterwards?
You can't change the filter. So that's the thing. I uploaded directly to their endpoint, not by replacing file system. If I do it on Android, I can do it that way. So it's just one of those things I haven't experimented enough playing around with Android. So yeah.
What's the point of us voting when you can hack it?
Just to make you guys feel better. That's all. Give you that false sense of security, you know? That's the point. So yeah, I would highly suggest you guys play with your stuff because it's really, really, really fun. Oh, I'll go back to my slide here because I'm just a.
But the Android glass, the glass, which is runs on Android, right?
Yes.
That's correct, right?
Yeah. Yes. So glass is running. Yeah.
But that OS is not hacked.
Oh, it is. Like mine. It is.
Otherwise you can't.
No, you can rip the video off without having to deal with it that way. The nicety, what I'm working on next is just creating a simple daemon, which will give me full access to all the files that are recorded in Glass as a simple file descriptor.
Yeah.
And then, using mobile substrate, I'm going to create that third camera, which will allow me to pick videos from my own machine in Glass and say, oh, get them from the.
Because otherwise it's not.
Yeah, otherwise it's not available to me. That's where it'll be next. So that's where this is going.
Well, the thing is that I heard some advertisement about that use Android because you don't need to jailbreak it, right?
Horseshit. There's so many things you can't do with just it's still restricted. So yes, don't get me wrong. Android is very open, all things considered, but it's more restricted than it should be. Like, yeah, even on some things like there's certain APIs and certain like. Getting access to the raw Bluetooth is one of those things that is very hard to do on various Android devices, which is how this thing communicates. So I don't want to have to set up a Wi-Fi terminal for that shit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but then there are not so many, business going on around.
CyanogenMon has huge installed base. Like, I don't know how many people here have been an Android user and used any alternate operating system? Okay, so like a good percentage of this room has used one of the alternate distros. So like that is a good case, like they've all rooted their devices in order to be able to make that roll.
Yeah, but you don't root it always to get those features, it's also to get the newest operating system.
That's the other point. But I mean, the thing is that yes, it's to get the latest on existing hardware or to get versions that aren't ever going to come to your hardware.
No, but what I mean is like CDR, they have a big market share.
Sure.
But is it something similar on Android?
Not yet,
no,
but it will be. It will be here
that's
soon. Like that's the point. It's we are working on making that a reality. So, to create a centralized marketplace for alternative sort of stuff like this. Yes. I mean, and it's only been. I mean, those of you guys who've done rooting of your devices, we can all agree it's much harder than it should be, right? I think we can all agree on that. You can use Cydia Impactor today, and it will, it's the easiest thing you've ever done. Like really. And the next iteration of these devices, or like the next iteration of this software is going to be like, oh, I want to put CyanogenMon on it, or I want to use this or I want to use the Google ASOP edition. You press one button and put it right onto the device with like no friction. So
still with HTC, it's a problem, I guess.
With the HTC One, it is.
Yeah,
Are you an
you need to
HTC One
unlock
user?
it.
Yeah. Like YouTube. We can't. Well, the thing is, the hack that we've got is a privilege escalation hack. So we have one without even requiring you to unlock your bootloader.
Okay.
All this happens like in the user space. Like this is why the hack is so good, is that it literally, much like the original, like some of the original jailbreak stuff, we would exploit a bug on the operating system to then in turn create a shim, and then we use that shim to install that stuff. So that's how this works. Yeah, because it's really easy to do that. So yeah, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. If you guys like the sorts of hacks that I do publish a lot. I'm getting better about it. So the more people that follow, the more likely I am to do this stuff. So yeah. Thank you all very much for your time. Oh, you got one more question?
Of course.
All right.
No, I was just thinking, what about let's say reverse engineering or looking into the stuff that's actually running on glass?
So I've got some stuff that I'm kind of beginning to start to get together to publish now. I mean, I've been in the exploration and discovery phase since I've gotten this, and I'm at the point now where I'm starting to kind of publish what I need and building small utilities for glass owners that want to do interesting stuff with it. So it's coming. Like just give me a couple more weeks. So, follow the blog. So yeah, thank you guys very much. I think that rounds it out. Unless anyone else here has any other questions. Awesome sauce. Well, like live hacking. That's ballsy. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching.